Hello, good evening. My name is Valentine Shena, and I'm here to talk about environment and mental health. And I'll start by asking, did you know that living in populated areas increase the risk of mental health disorders by 25%? By mental health disorders, I mean conditions like anxiety and depression. You may not know, but study has proven that 25% of the people who suffer from anxiety and depression are living in populated areas. And I would want to categorize factors that lead to these into three subcategories. And I would want us to talk about the impact of mental health on population, on the impact of population on mental health. And I would want to say that living in populated areas bears a grave repercussions on our mental and physical health. This is evidenced by the fact that people who live in populated areas suffer from a lot of anxiety and depression, and there's a very high rate of anxiety and depression in people who live in populated areas. I'll give an example with in Africa, whereby there are slums. In the slums, that's where you find a lot of people who are depressed and people who are suffering from anxiety due to the fact that they live in very populated, noisy, crowded areas. And the second category I would want to say is the consequences of improper living, whereby you find people are living in congested houses, people that are living in overcrowded, unsanitary places where there's constant or chronic stress. The stressors there are things that people live with. I would say when you hear of frying toilets, when you go to Africa, you will find there are people who don't have places that we call bathrooms, but they'll use plastic paper bags to relieve themselves and then trash it out. Those are the stressors that cause people that people live with and cause chronic stress over time. And this has been evidenced by poor quality of living associated with depression and anxiety and other cognitive impairments, which you've seen in Africa and evidence in Africa. And also the fact that all the land has been built, it has been occupied by those structures in terms of like makeshift homes, and to a point where there are no parks or any green spaces or places where people can go and decompress. You find that it contributes a lot to mental health issues. And the third and the last factor that I want to touch on is the social and the social environment and social environment and mental health. By this I mean living in isolation or living with in loneliness contributes a lot to people suffering from mental health. I would say with good social contact, it reduces psychological distressing factors. And I'll give an example whereby people who live together with families are not likely to suffer from depression like people who live in the isolation. And to wrap it up, I want to say that the effects of the effects of population and poor living and poor living and social surroundings are high stressors and cause mental health issues. And by gaining the knowledge on how the environment influences mental health, it enables me, you, and everybody around us to make minor or major adjustments to cater for to accommodate each other and to maybe diversify and not live in places that are highly populated or to live in isolation. Thank you.